They have announced that they hope the decree with which Italy supports Ukraine annually does not get Parliament's approval. Regardless of how this will turn out, there will also have to be a vote, evidently perhaps on Article 5. Regardless of how this vote turns out, and I ask you, don't these positions risk weakening or worse, influencing your work in international forums? And then, if I may, Salvini has expressed hope that Italy will be the first country to build and rebuild the bridges with Russia. I ask you if you agree with this, and if you also agree that Russia should rejoin the G8.
Well, look, I clearly listened to all the evaluations that come from the majority. I have also read of someone hoping that the Ukraine aid decree would not receive the votes. I don't think it will go that way, and as I have already said, I would consider it a mistake. It particularly surprises me, especially that it comes from a general, precisely for the reasoning I made earlier on the topic of deterrence. Soldiers are the first to understand how essential the armed forces are for building peace, and not, let's say, simply for making war. After that, regarding Russia in the G8 and contacts with Putin, Salvini made a reflection on Italy's relations, just as Macron did, for example, on relations with Europe, in the sense that, and in this, let's say, beyond what Italian relations are, because we are in a context that also involves cooperation. On cooperation, the European Union, I think, however, that Macron is right on this. That is, I believe the time has come for Europe to also speak with Russia, because if Europe decides to be part of this phase of negotiations by speaking only to one of the two sides involved, I fear that in the end, it will see the positive contribution it can make as limited. After that, though, where is the issue in this? The issue is who should do it, because if we made the mistake of deciding on one hand to reopen dialogues with Russia, and on the other hand, to proceed in a disorganized manner while doing so, we would be doing a favor to Putin, and the last thing I want to do in life is a favor to Putin. In life is a favor to Putin. We have had this problem since the beginning of the negotiations. There are many voices speaking. There are many formats that exist. It is the reason why I have always been in favor of the appointment of a special envoy for Europe. On the Ukrainian issue, that is, a person who would allow us to synthesize. But to speak with one voice, this is the real issue that puts us in difficulty. After that, relations with Italy, Russia in the G7, what will happen in the future? We'll discuss this when we have a path to peace. That is, when we have peace. But I'll tell you more. We'll also talk about it based on what the conditions are under which peace is achieved. So for now, it seems absolutely premature to me. Today, it would seem to me, the entry of Russia into the G7, for example, is impossible. After that, these are all topics that will arise when and if there is a peace, and I repeat, also based on how it is achieved, under what conditions it is achieved.